Hello and welcome back. This is a new chapter for you, chapter 3rd, the Shepherd's Treasure. And today I'm going to explain this passage. Before I go into the explanation of the passage, let me tell you about the marked words. All these marked words are either object or complements. The both of them are associated, connected with verb, or there is a slight difference between the two. Object comes after action words, whereas complements follow particular helping verb, that is be verb. So this is the difference. And in some other cases, these come after verbs of perception and some other state verbs. So this is the difference between object and complement, and both of them come after the verb. Position is after the verb. Subject comes before verb, object comes after verb. This is object, both object and complement. So this is the basic difference. So let's proceed now. In a village in Iran, there once lived a shepherd. So, as for example here, in a village in Iran, there once lived a shepherd. So here, a shepherd comes after the verb lived. So, shepherd is object here because it comes after lived. Lived is action word, living, because it involves some activities, some actions. When you live at a place, you have to maintain a lot of things, so it's action word. So it's talking about someone, about a shepherd, and this shepherd lived in a village, not in a town, not in city, but he lived in a village, and that village was in Iran. He was very poor. Now, what is said about him? He was very poor. The shepherd was very poor. He was not having money, he was poor. Now, you see here in the second sentence, he was very poor. So here comes the be verb, was. Was is a be verb here, and the words that follow the be verb, very poor, becomes complement. Why? Because they come after be verb. So a complement may either be a noun or adjective. So here poor is adjective, and so it's complement. He did not have even a small cottage of his own. So this shepherd, talking about the shepherd, he was so poor that he did not even have a cottage, a temporary shelter, a cottage of his own, something made of leaves, straw, wood, and all temporary. Even he was not having a temporary shelter of his own. He had never been to school or learned to read and write, for there were very few schools in those days. Now, talking about this, as we continue to talk about this shepherd, so we have learned he was poor. Secondly, he had no shelter, no home of his own. Then, he had never been to school, not educated, not learned to read and write. He had no idea as how to read, how to write. He was simply uneducated, illiterate, because there were very few schools in those days, because those days schools were rare. There were rare schools, means very few schools Few number of schools there, and those were all in towns and cities. And since he lived in village, so no question of any kind of education. Though poor and uneducated, this shepherd was very wise. Though he was poor, uneducated, had never seen the face of a school, yet he was very wise. This shepherd was very wise. He understood people's sorrows and troubles and helped them face their problems with courage and common sense. So he understood people's sorrows and troubles and suffering. He was very wise and he could understand easily, looking at the face of the person, that uh, he has been going through some trouble, difficult times, a difficult phase of his life. So he he would try, he would help, he would help them, not try, but he would help them face their problems with courage and common sense. He would guide them and help them face the problem with courage, with common sense. So, this is the passage. Thank you for now.